Good morning, Shane. How are you, buddy? First one in. Hello, Joey. Bruno. Good morning, everybody. I think I'm going to make you a moderator because you do appear to be quite a decent guy. You're at morning workouts, Joey. What's that? Are you in the gym, my friend? You're in the gym. That is the question. So what do you think about this this limitless channel and this Awake Souls? I mean, they want me to do this live stream of the wind turbines. I do go out of my way to do a lot of things that people ask me to do. And I just don't like the way they've gone about asking me to do it. I mean, essentially, I am going to do it. That's the thing. And it probably will be today. Just depends on the weather, obviously. But yeah, I do go out and show these guys stuff, and it's not my problem if they can't really understand what they're seeing. So Bruno, tell me about yourself, buddy. I haven't really spoken to you much before. What's things with you? Are you a flat earther? I have seen you in Nathan's chats before. Seem to want to disrupt all the other channels apart from their own. Yeah, I mean, hi Sandra, you all right? How's the P1000 campaign going? Is it going okay? If you want, you can put your link in the side chat if anyone wants to donate towards Sandra's P1000. But yeah, Shane, in answer to your question, yeah, they do. I've been speaking to people on Skype, a lot of the major flat earthers, and it seems that they've gone after flat earth channels essentially, and they've done this kind of attack first, call everybody a shill, a bit like Pete Shea, to be fair, a bit like him. Everyone's an agent. I think, obviously I think Pete realizes now I'm no agent. But these other shills, these Awake Souls, this limitless channel, I think they're actually fake flat earthers. That's my opinion. I don't believe them for a minute. It seems that they go after, people that do research and stuff, and I don't understand it. It's like, if you're really looking for the truth, you would understand how the atmosphere works, and you try and understand how that all plays into the way they were able to get away with telling us we lived on a ball for so long. Thanks, Ranty. Fund is going up to 425 now. Awesome. Yeah, I did send someone your way. I believe they donated £100, which was fantastic, I have to admit. I mean, I didn't expect to see that much. Miserable weather again, though, Sandra. Can't film bugger all today. It's raining, really dark clouds. You can't see you can't see very far at all. But hopefully the weather should still be just good enough to see those turbines later on. And the reason that I'm decided to do it at 6 p.m. UK time is essentially so that I've given them enough warning to hop onto the live stream if they so wish. But one thing I do need to work out, to be fair, is how I actually see the chats on the phone. So if I'm sharing my camera, so I'll be obviously filming the P900 as it zooms into the turbines. How do I check the chat? Does the chat come up in the actual in the side? Is there some way that you can still see? Oh right, you might come down. Awesome, Sandra. Well, I tell you what, honestly, if you are going to come down, That would be brilliant. Yeah. Hi, Jamie. You right, pal? Yeah, Sandra, if you want to come down, I tell you what, let's get something organised. Right. Sandra, how about, could you make it to the Mirror Ball? Now, I know you don't live too far from there, but would you be able to make it to the Mirror Ball? Is that too far away for you? Is it doable to be there about 6 o'clock? Hi, Bilu. I haven't seen you for a while, actually, Sandra. So yeah, it would be nice to meet up. So do you fancy meeting there at 6? Right, 6 o'clock. Right, I'll be there at 6 o'clock. I'll be there by the Mirror Ball. We'll figure it out. I'll go live, and I'll, maybe you could go live too. Maybe we could do a double in your face Awake Souls, the Limitless channel, because they have called you out too. Don't forget. They've they've said that you're CGI too. So apparently we're both CGI. But there you go. The chat stopped, did it? I didn't even know the chat had stopped. Yeah, they think I'm you. Oh, right. Is that what I get? What you mean now? So yeah, maybe we could film each other. Say, right, this is no. Actually, I know you don't go on cam, so we won't do that. But maybe I could show your ankles or something and prove that they're not my ankles. Oh, that'd be funny. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, this guy, this greater sapien guy. I mean, what's his bag? I mean, can anyone verify for me that they weren't popular before they started going after D-Marble, or he wasn't popular before he started going after D-Marble, because that's D-Marble's claim. Now, I don't have reason to disbelieve that, because I have been speaking to D-Marble for quite a while now, and it seems that this greater sapien has grown his channel off the back of D-Marble. Essentially, it's what the ballers do. They have no content of their own, so they do kind of have to sort of troll a flat earther and make videos about them to make their channel grow. So it makes sense. But can anyone actually verify that this greater sapien guy was a pretty low-lying fruit until he went after the old D-Marble there? The Morgile has had a lot of video on track. Really? Okay. So essentially, he's gone after the biggest guys. He's gone after the Morgile, so obviously part of Globe Busters, and obviously D-Marble. So I get his MO. He hasn't bothered with going after your run-of-the-mill ones, run-of-the-mill flat earthers. He's gone after the big fish to make himself appear more important. That kind of makes sense, because if you think of his name, Greater, I mean, yeah, he hasn't got a big enough head, has he? Could be Timmy's ankles, though. Yeah, to be fair, it could be, because Timmy does look like he's got girly ankles. I have to agree with that. Timmy girly ankles. Yeah, Sandra, I tell you what, when we both get our P1000s, wouldn't it be great if we took a day trip down to Llandudno? And I'll tell you for why. It's because I saw, and I'm telling you now, all of the Isle of Man from an elevation of 322 feet. That's impossible, because 1,400 feet of it should have been beyond the curve. So you'd only should have seen the very, very tippy tops of it, right? So I think we should organise a time at some point. Both take our P1000s down there. I'll take my modified P900 that I'm going to make into being able to see in infrared. And yeah, I think we'll just go after some evidence from up there, because it seems that, yes, we do the low stuff, but higher up too. We can get some great photography with that setup, the infrared. What's this? Joey Silv. He's a puss. I think with my bro. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it seems that, you know, I mean, I don't think many people go after Greater Sapien, do they? Hang on, let me just have a look. I'm going to have a quick nose in there. Just bear with me whilst I'm not following the chat right now, but I'm going to see if anybody has gone after Greater Sapien. Or has he had an easy ride of it? Let's look at it that way. So if I go for this month, let's just have a look. Right, so let's see if anybody is essentially going after him. Doesn't look like it. Nope. For whatever reason, people seem to not want to do videos about him. So I wonder why that is. The Morgal did 3 video rebuttals. Yeah, I think that's what made him popular. Like, you know, he said if you respond to the trolls, this is what happens. You know, they get content to come back at you with. Anthony Riley, for instance, look at how he has fought the trolls. Just a minute. Every time I go live, the bloody phone rings. It's pissing me right off. Literally every time. Yeah, I am up early. Dropped the missus off at work. Came back. I was going to do some filming. I was going to try and see if I could see anything. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Sorry about that, people. Phone call, no. You know, life gets in the way occasionally of flat Earth, unfortunately. I had an appointment this morning which I forgot to go to. Go and press a job up. Anyway, rescheduled it for an hour or so. So I've got another 25 minutes or so with you guys, if that's all right. If you want to hang around for 25 minutes, I don't mind. If there's any questions you want to ask me. Am I impressed with the P1000? Well, I don't actually have the P1000 right now. It doesn't get released until the 6th of September. But from what I've seen, yeah, I mean, what's not to be impressed about it? It's going to be awesome using it. Hi, John Watson. You all right? No. It's not released yet, my friend. Not released. Nobody gets their hands on it until 6th of September. So that is the earliest that you will possibly be able to get it. See what happens. I'll either get it the 6th or the 7th, something like that. It'll arrive. Morning, John. Yeah, what was he talking about? Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, so GeoStreamer. I mean, come on, right? So it was mentioned yesterday, right? Mentioned yesterday and the day before that in the past, Anthony Riley has debated these guys. Now, it's all credit to Anthony that he'd actually stuck in there after the way they, you know, abused his trust in so many ways. And that was the fact that whenever he thought he was going in for debates one-on-one, he wasn't going in debates one-on-one. He was going in debates with 1 against 5, 1 against 6. And they did that to obviously try and win every argument with him. So it's like, let's look at it another way. If I'm good at maths and I know a little bit of chemistry, and I'm going into a debate with somebody else who essentially knows the same, and then we start talking about chemistry, and I'm not too clued up on that, but in the background, he's got somebody feeding him loads of stuff about chemistry. Suddenly, he becomes the knowledgeable one. He becomes the guy that is appearing to win the debate because he seems to know more than you at that time. So I remember it back then, because this is why Anthony has become such a formidable debater right now. And that's because he got into so many debates where he essentially lost. And he lost because he didn't have the information or hadn't researched it. But these guys had. So he was doing one-on-ones, but against 5-on-ones. And each of those guys had their own particular skill. So people would be listening in to those debates back then. And they would, what they would hear is Anthony getting, information said to him that he hadn't actually heard of before or come across before. So he was obviously having to concede the points, which is what flat earthers do. Are you going, Sandra? Right, okay, see you at 6 o'clock tonight, don't forget. So he was having to concede points, which flat earthers do. Boulders never, ever concede any points. They never concede any points whatsoever, right? Oh, see you later, Shane Walter. Peace. And sorry to hear about you going to the funeral and stuff. Get your chin up, mate. So they never ever concede anything, right? So Anthony would he would concede anything, right? He would concede because he had to, because essentially he didn't have the things that they had, which was apparent knowledge about everything, right? And he was always talking to me and he was saying, God, I can't believe they did this, they did that. And then he'd go and research it, right? And then he'd go into another debate with him, and then they'd turn it ever so slightly, and then they'd start talking about maybe a bit of physics. Well, of course, he'd just been researching chemistry and now he's researching physics. And of course, they've got someone in the background that knows all the things about physics. So he was losing debate after debate after debate. And now he knows why. And this is why it's such a sore point for him. It's because he really thought he was going to do one-on-ones with these guys. That's what he thought. And he doesn't like losing a debate, ever, right? So when he was losing the debates and he was getting hammered, it was only because it was 5-on-1, and he's actually proving that now. We always suspected that was the case, and we always knew. We did have insiders that were telling us that was the case too, that these guys were doing this. We never had the means or he didn't have the technology at that time to dig out that kind of information and find out that that's exactly what they were doing. So exposing them has been quite fun. But this is what they do. I mean, they can't, because they won't concede a single point. And it's like they don't want to open the mind to the possibility that they have been deceived and they have been lied to. And so what they'll do, they will, they'll cheat and lie and scratch and scream and throw the toys out the pram and do everything they can to hold on to that spinny little ball. And that guy that keeps coming in, I don't even know his name. I'll be honest, right? I just hear his voice. He's been in for the past week on Nathan's debate, and he gets right on my wick because he's such a troll. This is the level of ball earther. Maybe this is the kind of level that most of them are at. That can barely string 2 words together. Have no critical analysis, don't have any information, refer to Wikipedia, don't know them. This guy's apparently been on Flat Earth for 3 years, and he knows fuck all about anything. Hope you don't mind, Ranty. Hey? What's that? Shout out to Sheeps and Neeps Cancer Cure Fund. What the hell is that? What is that? I've never heard of that. What is it? Who has cancer? Who actually has cancer? Sheeps has cancer. Really? Hang on, let me read this. There is a semi-circumferential tumour in the lower third of the rectum, which measures 5 centimetres in distance. Right, okay. Wow, okay. Well, sorry to hear that, Des. You know, we've never seen eye to eye, really. But I hope you pull through. Hope you you managed to get things sorted. When was it? 27 days ago. Right, £444 raised so far. Okay, right. Well, this is the first I've heard of this, but I will make a point of mentioning it today on Nathan's show. At the end of the day, we're all flat earthers, regardless of whether we actually get along with each other or not. And it's very sad to see someone that's been as active as him in this situation. So if I can, I will make sure that he gets a big shout out from me. So yeah, I will. I'll put that to Nathan this morning. It's weird. I've never heard that before. I mean, I don't follow him. You know, I mean, I don't follow his stuff. I just know that, you know, the last 3 or 4 times that we've spoken, you know, we've ended up arguing with each other, and I think that's probably why I haven't really, you know, followed his stuff. And to be fair, the only reason we argued was because he attacked me. You know, for whatever reason, I don't know why. I think he just thinks that the circle of people that I'm in with isn't his idea of how flat Earth should be done. He thinks people should do things individually, but I think flat Earth should be brought out collectively. I think individually we make a very small noise and we're easy to be picked off. Collectively, for whatever, you know, whether or not you believe some of the people involved may be actors or agents or whatever, but collectively we can make a bigger noise. That's what I believe. I genuinely believe that now. I have no problem at all aligning myself with the likes of Globebusters, with the likes of Mark Sargent, Patricia Steer, all of them, because essentially they are the biggest channels. They, for whatever, you know, whether you like how they got there, whether you suspect them as being agents, whether you suspect them for doing this, that, and the other, they are still the biggest draws on flat Earth. And you know, marginalizing them and infighting and saying this, that, and the other about them isn't really working. And I'm working behind the scenes to bring everybody together on Skype. I do have a group that I've set up, and there are a few of those people that I've just mentioned that are actually in this group who we are actively working together now to try and promote each other and bring flat Earth to the masses even more so over the next year. And this is something that we need. We need cohesion. We need strength in numbers, and we don't need to be divided yet. As Belu says, divide and conquer is the biggest threat. It is. Absolutely, it is the biggest threat. And, you know, people that are divisive, like, I do like Pete Shea, I'll be honest. I like Pete Shea. I like him as a human being. But his insistence that everybody's agents, whether it's true or not, it doesn't help the cause. It really doesn't. what will come out in the wash will come out in the wash in the end. But whilst you've got people that are actively being sought out by the media and can actively raise awareness of flat Earth, we shouldn't be marginalizing those people. We should be working with them, because I am never going to get on the television. I'm never going to get in the paper, but these guys already are. So it seems pointless to make accusations against them. I'd rather work with them. And I tell you what, speaking with them behind the scenes, it is an eye opener, because you realize that, you know, what you've heard about and what the people have talked about them and said and things like this, it's not the case. It really isn't the case. They're just genuine people, just like me, just like you, just, you know, they've got into flat Earth in a certain way, and for whatever reason, they're now more popular than almost everybody else, right? So be it. Okay. Some people say, well, you know, they're making money out of flat Earth. Well, I'll tell you what, look at it another way. If somebody devotes their life to flat Earth, right, essentially it is their job, right? How are they going to pay the bills, get around, put fuel in the car, feed themselves, feed the family, pay the mortgage, any of that? How are they going to do that if they are devoting their life to providing you with content and to providing flat Earth with exposure? I don't see a problem with them making a living from doing something that is beneficial to everybody that listens to their work, right? I don't find that at all in the slightest. And for what it's worth, every Ball Earth channel, every single one of them, all those guys screaming that flat Earth is this and flat Earth is that, and they're all in it for the money. Every single one of those channels is monetized, right? Every one of them has the super chats. Every one of them has the PayPals. Every one of them has it all going off. And it's all off the back of flat Earthers, right? Flat Earth didn't exist, their channel wouldn't exist. Flat Earthers didn't put content out, they wouldn't have content to talk about. They wouldn't have a channel. So essentially they are making money off flat Earth themselves. It is there in black and white. So, you know, a lot of the people in the chat now, some of you do content, some of you don't, and some of you guys will just rather listen or watch the content. So, you know, you'll have someone that you follow and you want to click the video and you want to watch the work that they've done, and you have a feeling of euphoria at the end of the video and you feel a little bit better for yourself, you know, for a bit more knowledge. Now, that would never have happened if that person hadn't have gone out and done the research and put a video together and provided it to you so that you could have that euphoric moment, right? So in a sense, these flat earthers that are going out and doing this stuff are working for you. They work for you. You work for them. If you want to work for them, I say you work for them. If you want to help them, you can. If not, you can watch the stuff for free. But it's not affecting you. You get the euphoric moment day after day. It's other people that are doing the work. You just get to sit back and enjoy it. So I wouldn't call anybody that devotes a lot of time to flat Earth to be shills or agents or disinformate agents. There are some, yeah, okay, like the title here, the Limitless Channel, Awake Souls. You know, I have my doubts seriously about their intentions on flat Earth. You know, but and they're not making any friends. Let's be honest, they are a law to themselves. They might have a few followers, devoted followers, but essentially they are ostracized from the community through their own way they've handled their own channel and their beliefs and the way they've gone about attacking other people. And they're never going to get any traction. Nobody's going to really listen to their stuff because nobody cares about them. Nobody has an interest in what they say because of the way they have been, right? Nobody does. And then, you know, you look at all the channels that are ostracized, you know, and you look at Dell in his shed, right? And he, you know, he's pretty much ostracized. He doesn't have that many other channels that support him because of the way he attacks other flat earthers and because of the way he assumes that his way is the only way to do this kind of getting the word out, which is to beat his chest on the side of the street and pick someone and have a chat with them. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, okay, so you get into 2 people or 3 people every week, though. Nice one. Yeah, we see like Mark Sargent, Patricia Steer, they're getting to thousands every week. But who am I to say, Del? End of the day, because you're always right, aren't you, my son? Nobody else can have a way of doing something. But I look at it a different way. My type of research is different to somebody else's. Sandra, for instance, her way of research is to provide a very serene image of Blackpool, the skyline, sunsets, Isle of Man, very nice with some nice music. It's very peaceful. You can sit back and listen to it all day, right? That's Sandra's approach. My approach is getting down and dirty and getting into the sand and, getting wet and, running up and down some steps to get some elevation and heights, and then doing a bit of research and finding out, what was I actually seeing at that time? What was giving me, why was I able to see so much of the boat, less of the boat, what was causing the problems, So that's my type of research. We're both flat earthers, but we have our own way of doing it. We're not in competition with each other and we don't dislike each other. We just have different ways of doing it. But for somebody like Del or Antonius or the Limitless channel to be saying that the way we do our research isn't how it should be done this way. Yeah. No, we all have our own way of doing it. And everybody enjoys our, everyone's got the favorite. And, division will kill us in the end. That's what will kill the movement. So that's not going to happen with me. And I am reaching out to the bigger channels because I want them to pull together. That's what I want. I want them to pull together. They have an awful lot of subscribers and they have a lot of reach. But if they start working together, can you imagine if they all started working together instead of being their own channels? Can you imagine if they all work together? We all work together. We'll promote everybody. Can you imagine that? Imagine how big we could get this. So stop the infighting, people. Stop the arguments. If the trolls come after us, we'll go back after them. And at 6 o'clock tonight, I'll be down there with Sandra. I'll see you down at the Mirror, and we'll film those wind turbines. Put that CGI claim to rest. Shut them religious fanatics up, and we'll move forward and get them off our backs, and then we'll get back to doing some research. Right, so that's me. I do have to go and price a job up now, unfortunately. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to end this stream now. I did want to do a bit longer, but got the phone call as you heard before, so I'll be leaving now. Anyway, I'm going to do the appeal for Sheeps and Neeps again. If anybody's just joined now, apparently Sheeps and Neeps has cancer. I didn't understand. I wasn't aware of that. But he has a GoFundMe. Well, is it a GoFundMe? No, it's just a deposit for his PayPal. But essentially, he does have he has cancer. So I'll be doing a shout out for support on Nathan's show later, and hopefully we'll get a few more people made aware of this. And I'll be honest with you, just going back to what I was saying about being a lone wolf in this debate kind of thing. Del is a lone wolf, and I have to say, I don't mean this in any kind of negative way or a bad way as such, but it's just to prove the point. £444 he's collected in 27 days. So essentially in 4 weeks he's collected just a little over £400. Now, the guy has cancer, right? The guy has cancer and he's going to need money to help him through this, food, just living, just to get through it. Now, being a lone wolf and being divisive, he hasn't had the support, or the people like myself haven't even been aware that he's had cancer, and it's been public knowledge for at least 4 weeks. And this is what I'm talking about with unity. If he was more united, if he was more with us, you know, with being united in this movement, we could have spoken about this, and I will be talking about it to the bigger channels as well, right? So whether or not they promote him, I don't know, but I will tell every single one of them, right? And I will link them to his PayPal. But being a divisive person, right? He hasn't had the exposure, and he has got very, in my opinion, a very small amount for such a serious illness, right? And he does do a lot of the work. You know, he does do his own stuff. He does his live streams, and he was doing it every week. So he had his own way of bringing the movement forward, but he was on his own. So that's just my point right here. I feel if he'd been with us guys and he'd been able to have a massive shout out from everybody, he could have 10, 15 times that amount. People would have been happy to have helped the guy out. But as I say, not that many people are really caring right now. But hand on my heart, I don't have any animosity to the guy. You know, so I have no problem in making sure that at least this message will get out now, because I'm sure that hardly anybody knows about this. Right. Okay. I am going to end the stream now. I've got to go and price a job up. I still have to work, unfortunately. So take care, guys. I'll be back later. I will be on at 6 p.m. tonight UK time doing a live stream with Sandra of the wind turbines, and I'll likely be on Nathan Oakley's show. Well, I will be on Nathan Oakley's show this afternoon. Right. So peace, everybody. Best wishes to Dell. Hope he gets well. And yeah, just have a nice day. And thank you very much for tuning in. Peace.